Now we talk about cross product here, and cross product, as you know, I discussed with you before. In dot product we talk about a two-dimensional concept, area between two vectors, but in cross product we talk about a three-dimensional concept, that is a vector A and B are multiplied in a cross product, which is also called as vector product because result is always in vector. We say this will result to another vector, third vector, with some magnitude that we'll discuss right now, but third vector will be always perpendicular to both these vectors A and B. The best part to understand this is when you talk about a typical cork, cap of a bottle. You want to open the bottle, so you need two fingers. One finger is acting in this direction, another is in this direction. Let me call this as A and this is B. When A and B are with certain angle with each other, the direction is coming out from the black whiteboard. This direction, resulting the cap is moving forward, upward. Cap is moving upward. So keeping that factor in mind, we have to be very clear that we are talking about a case where we are very sure that we are talking about a third vector which is perpendicular to both A and B. It is somewhat like this. If I draw from here, if you have the coordinate system and bottle is somewhere obviously in the coordinate system, I want to make the bottle move. So one force is acting in this direction, another is in this direction, two fingers, which is making the bottle move. But that means these two, A and B, are in this plane. This is my Z axis, this is my X axis, and this is my Y axis. So A and B, I could not draw properly. A and B are parallel to this, means they are lying on the XZ plane, and resultant will be in the, I'll change color to show you very clearly that resultant will be in this direction along Y axis, perpendicular to both A and B. Remember, Y axis is always perpendicular to XY plane in all the conditions. If I reverse the direction of A and B, that means closing of a cap, the cap goes downwards, so it becomes minus Y. So this type of vectors, vector products, are known as cross vectors. So we can write here, they mention it like this: magnitude of A, magnitude of B, and sine theta. We consider here sine theta and n hat, where n hat is the third vector. If you have A and B, third vector is n hat. That means if two vectors A and B are acting in one plane, this is A, this is B, the third vector is n hat, where angle between A and B is theta, and we take sine theta like this. That means we have to be very clear that we mention cross product, the result is coming to be a vector quantity because this n hat is the direction of the resultant, and magnitude of the resultant is dictated by magnitude of A, magnitude of B, sine theta. For example, let's take some physical example. You are having a puncture on the roadside, and somebody comes to help you to open your wheel, and they take some machine, some tool by which they open the nuts of the bolts of the wheel. Manually they are doing it. That means this is nothing but an example of cross product. Manually they are doing it, so the amount of magnitude of A and B is very less in this. So the sine theta has to be a little bit higher so that you get, but higher means how much? Sine 90 is equal to 1, sine 0 is equal to 0. So AB cannot be 0 because that will result to 0. So magnitude of A and B and the angle between them will dictate the total value of the result. So man, when he wants to open the wheel, he has to give enough magnitude, enough force. Both the directional forces A and B should be very high, and only then the theta should be they should try to make it 90 degree by holding it with the key. So that is how they are making it in a making it maximum possible. But that, if you compare the whole situation with a service station where they take machine to open these bolts, so the A and B are very high in those courses in service center, and theta is perfectly 90, because manually when you do it, it might not be 90. See, the bolt is somewhat like this, so bolt is somewhat like this, so somewhat like this. Suppose we take a key which fits here, and which fits here. So that means we are trying to make, this is my one force A and this is my another force B, and we are trying to make it 90 degree somehow. If it is not 90, the value will be less, value will reduce. So somehow we are trying to make it 90 degree, but it can't be 90 because sometimes this key, you must have seen, key is somewhat like this, it is like this, somewhat like this. So they use, mechanics always use this type of key, and this is always going to fit. But manual fitting, and when you talk about the service center, the fitting of the machine in this will be perfect, and it will be 90 and maximum A and B will be given, and with that you have our maximum value of A and B. So A and B cross product is over. So one tips I'll tell you in this: if you are asked to find out angle between two vectors, please never use cross product. In cross product you can no doubt find out angle, but that would be very beating around the bush, very complicated way. आपको काफ़ी घुमा फिरा के इसके वैल्यू निकालना पड़ेगा. इससे बढ़िया है आप अगर डॉट प्रोडक्ट से या पैरेललोग्राम 2 से आप वैल्यू निकालें. Now I'll give you some example now. Same story, but we have little bit complication in cross product. You should know this carefully. Suppose, say, I hope the concept of cross product is now clear, and some technical mathematical terms and methods should be clear to you. So I'll go to that now. Suppose, say, they give you some example like A, say they say A is equal to I plus 2j, and suppose B is equal to let me take K also, and K, suppose just K, and B is equal to 2I, that's all, or maybe let me take J. Now you are to find cross product of A and B. We have a method, please see the method very carefully to find this. Actually we are doing cross product means just multiplication of 2. This is the thing we are doing, cross I plus J. Now before going to that, we must know a very simple thing, that what does, like in dot product we have done I dot j, what does it mean? Here I dot j, I cross j, what does it mean? I cross j means 90 degree, magnitude of I as per this formula, magnitude of j, and remember this I is a unit vector, j is also a unit vector, so the magnitude is going to be 1, and there is sine theta, and theta is between I and j, because what is ij? This is my coordinate system, this is my coordinate, this is my coordinate system, this is my coordinate system, rough sketch. This is x-axis, so I is in this direction, this is y-axis, j is in this direction, and this is z-axis, so k is in this direction. So if you talk about I, j and k like this, you talk about the coordinate system, I and j always have 90 degree between them, j and k has got 90 degree between them, and k and I also has got 90 degree between them. That means this angle is going to be 90 degree, and sine 90 is going to be 1. That means magnitude of unit vector I is 1 into magnitude of j is also 1, and sine 1 is also 1. But we are left with third vector. We must mention third vector here. Third vector that is perpendicular to I and j is only and only k. Nothing else can be in the coordinate system which is perpendicular both, can be only the third vector, that is third axis. So that is k here. So I'll write k here. That means in summary, moral of the story goes like this: I cross j is equal to k. Please note down this very seriously. J cross k is equal to j cross k. Go the anti-clockwise direction. J and k will give you I, and another simple, k cross I is going to give you j. But reverse, if I go, this is the way I'm moving actually, this is the way I'm moving. If I go the other way around, that will lead to, I'll change color to show you, if I go the other way around, if I go this way, so this is going to be I cross k is going to be minus, because see the direction, and their perpendicular is downwards, this minus j, so it is minus j. And similarly k cross j is minus I, and I cross, okay, I have done already, so j cross k, j cross I is equal to j cross I is equal to minus k. So this is just reverse. On the other hand, if I go to prove that I cross I, what that value will be is magnitude of I into magnitude of I, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to sign. Theta is 0, sine 0 is 0, and whatever it may be. We don't know what is part, it can be j or k, we don't know, we don't bother. But because the value turns to 0, so this is going to be 0. So all other product, the product of same, unlike dot product, here is going to be 0. So we can say here